Hi, my name is Robert, and I want to just share with you a little about my life and an experience that I had that's going to launch us into what this session is all about. So, if you can't tell by my accent, I'm originally from Mississippi, from the Deep South, and my earliest memory as a kid is watching football with my dad, particularly watching the University of Mississippi, Ole Miss. At that time, Archie Manning was the quarterback for Ole Miss, and just because my dad loved him so much, I did. So when I was 3, I would pace back and forth in front of the television with him and kind of lean in and watch the game and get mad when they lost and all. And so this was Archie Manning's senior year, and he was a candidate for the Heisman Trophy, and not only that, Ole Miss was number 3 in the country, so it looked like this could be a year that Ole Miss would win the national championship. They had one of the best players in the country, and they had a great team, but then they were rolling into to this one game against the University of Southern Mississippi, just a very small school. And in that game, Archie Manning broke his arm, and they ended up losing that game. So, no national championship. We were just devastated as a family. So then, just because we loved Archie, he went on to the NFL. And the best that he ever did was go 8-8. Never had a winning record. Poor Archie never had a winning record. And so he went on and retired. Not long after that, he had this son named Peyton in high school who was just breaking every record in high school. And we thought, well, maybe now he'll go to Ole Miss, but he didn't. He ended up going to the University of Tennessee. Well, then a few years later, we hear that there's another son who's just as good as Peyton, and maybe this son will go to Ole Miss, and he did. So go back to the same kind of a situation, to where here he is. It's his senior year. They're number 10 in the country, and they're playing the number 2 team in the country, Louisiana State, LSU, and they're in Oxford, Mississippi, playing the game. And Ole Miss hasn't lost a game in conference play. The game begins just fever pitch. It was so intense. Um, Eli threw a perfect pass, but then the wide receiver went on to a touchdown, but they say that he was out of bounds. They showed on the replay, and he was that far from being out of bounds, but was not. But still, the touchdown got called back. We had the number 1 place kicker in the country, the Groza Award winner. He missed 2 field goals in that game. So here it is, fourth quarter, 4th and 10. Ole Miss was down 17-13. No, excuse me, 17-14. So if Ole Miss had have made those 2 field goals, they would have been winning. So here's Eli, 4th and 10 in the fourth quarter, going up under center, takes the snap, goes back, and trips over his guard. Lose the game. Lose any hope of the SEC championship. All right, so years later, he gets drafted. Eli gets drafted by the New York Giants. So just like we followed his dad to New Orleans, we followed him to New York, and New York Giants became our favorite team. Nobody thought that they were going to win a playoff, get to the playoffs, and they get to the playoffs. No one thought that they would beat Tampa in the first playoff game. They go to Tampa and they win. Now they go to Dallas. No one thought that they were going to beat Dallas. They go into Dallas, they beat Dallas. Now the NFC Championship game, where it's 3 below 0 up in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Surely a kid from Mississippi can't play in 3 below weather. They play and they win. They're going to the Super Bowl. But surely they can't win this because they're playing the 18-0, the undefeated New England Patriots. Well, here it is, into the game, and it's they're down by just a few points. Eli gets the ball, completion, but now it's 3rd and 10. Eli drops back. He's just about to get sacked, and he heaves the ball downfield to David Tyree, and David Tyree catches the ball on top of his helmet like this and goes down. The most amazing catch in Super Bowl history. Makes another completion, and then touchdown to Plaxico Burress. The Giants win the Super Bowl. This is the moment I was waiting for my whole life as a sports fan. I wanted his dad to win. I wanted his brother to come to Ole Miss so that we could win a national championship. When he went to Ole Miss, I wanted Eli to win at least an SEC championship. No team that I've ever been like number one on, my favorite team has never won anything. And here, my guy of Manning, that went to Ole Miss, has finally won the Super Bowl. Most profound sports moment I've ever had as a fan. I jumped up and hit my knuckles on my ceiling. The scars are just now healing from where I did that. This was it. I've been waiting forever for this moment. So when Eli took the trophy, with all of the confetti pouring down, he lifted it over his head. It was the most wonderful moment I've ever had as a sports fan, but it was also the worst. Because then I said, now what? This is it. I've been waiting my whole life for this, and here it is. Now what? That's the question about today's session, is what do we do when we're confronted with our now what? That is the holy longing.